Yo, what's good, people? Welcome back to True Gunners TV. We're back again. We're running a little bit late tonight. That's a gal's fault. I'll blame a gal on that one. We've just been on a gal's channel. I'm sure you guys would have been over there watching anyway. But we are going to, of course, preview the game tomorrow. Arsenal's final preseason game over at the Emirates. I don't know why they picked a Wednesday night to do this. Do you know what I mean? Like the Emirates Cup games used to be at the weekend. I was there last season against Sevilla. Why a Wednesday? Why a Wednesday night? And 6 o'clock as well when everybody's at work. These lot are madmen, I tell you. But listen, guys, as always, I've got to bring on a guest. It was going to be Jess. Unfortunately, she can't make it. So I've brought a fresh face for you guys to feast on tonight. And of course, making his debut on the channel, we've got Kunde from One Touch TV. How are we doing, my bro?
Oh yeah, now my people. It's your dark skinned man from the motherland. If you didn't know before, now tonight you go understand. It's Kunle, not Kunde, but I'll allow you since the first time you introduced me. So it's all good. Smash the like button for Brandon right now, my people. Share, comment, subscribe, all of that. And oh yeah, now merch coming soon. Watch this space.
Make sure you're doing all of that. And yeah, sorry about that.
That's all good. It's all good.
All the time. It's all good. It's all good though. It's all good. So let's start with, because my previous stream was, of course, about David Raya. We got to talk about this one. David Raya to Arsenal. What do you think? What do you think?
For me, I'm excited, but with the only concern I have about is if we don't sign anyone after him, because maybe the debate is the money could have gone elsewhere. But I like it, and the reason I like it is as in my manager's showing ruthlessness, as in he doesn't have time for problems. Ramsdale, I know I've given you a 5-year contract or whatever the contract is, but you've been messing up, bro. Like, what's going on? Do you need a kick up the backside? Ideally, I don't want to get rid of you, but if I have to, I will. But I believe, for some reason, I do believe that this is gonna elevate Ramsdale, because I believe he loves this sort of warfare of battling against someone else. I can't rest on my laurels anymore. Whereas he knew for a fact Turner wasn't replacing him at any point in time. If I'm fit, I play, unless it's Europa League. So I'm happy about it. Bit umming and ahhing about some of the figures being quoted, but if the Cronkies do what I expected them to do this summer and spend 300M, I am very much okay.
100%. Couldn't agree with you more. I basically said the same thing. You know, Aaron Ramsdale, a little bit suspect over the last year or so, conceding shots that he shouldn't be conceding. His distribution as well. I mean, like, this guy's got a bit comfortable, hasn't he? And yeah, you're right. Tina Turner was never going to replace him. You know, as number one. Never ever, bro. You know,
he can't.
He's better off. He's better off doing little renditions of the Tina Turner songs. Do you know what I mean?
You know it, bro. 100%.
Like I said, we kind of, like I've said before, I think it was a money-making scheme by Arsenal, going, you know, buy this guy from America, break into the American market, you know, buy him for a cheap fee, sell him on. And it looks like we're going to do that with both Trusty and Tina Turner. So, yeah. And at the end of the day, like all the Arsenal fans that are complaining about this, number one, it gives us 2 very high quality goalkeepers. We're going to, you know, we're all talking about we want to compete in all competitions next season. To do that, unfortunately, you have to have 2 players that are of adequate quality in one position. Do you know what I mean? And you see it at Manchester City with Ortega and Ederson. Maybe not so much at other clubs, because you don't tend to have a top class second choice goalkeeper. But who cares, bro? Who cares? All these lot that are complaining, bro, like, who cares?
It's the wildest thing ever. It's like our fan base, they get so attached to players. And I remember I heard some stuff today. I don't know if you heard the AFTV stuff, where some people were telling me we don't want to sign Mbappe because it will stop Martinelli. Like, what? When I heard that, I just our fan base is just gone, bro. Like, I love Martinelli to bits, quality player, but give me Mbappe every freaking day. You go sit on the bench, Martinelli. If you don't like it, keep working on it. He's only there for maybe a year, then you get back in the side, wins us the league and bounces. I'll be fully in. our fan base just needs to stop getting attached to players because they are not attached to us. Let's get this straight. They are not. If you see what's going on in Saudi, you know they are not attached to us. They're attached to playing football and the money. That's it. And as much as I love my team and my players, if a player coming in makes my team stronger, why am I going to be upset about it? I don't get the logic. And I'm not saying Ramsdale's now a bad keeper. He hasn't helped us out. He wasn't clutch for us at crucial moments last season, because he was. And I'm not saying I like the signing because I think he's gone bad. As we both are saying, he's just got comfortable, and it's either we just allow him to stay in that comfort zone and it costs us points at the start of the season, or we check him now while we can rectify the situation and prevent it from getting worse. And worst case scenario, we replace him with Raya. Worst case scenario.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, mate. I think most of the fan base have got so used to this, not having the expectation of winning. And I think that's the big problem. Now that we've got the expectation of winning, I like to see that the manager's starting to be a bit ruthless, even with players that we don't necessarily expect him to be ruthless with. I just wish he'd be ruthless with Eddie Nketiah. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just wish he'd be ruthless with Rob Holding, because we still got that guy. The best thing that he's ever done at Arsenal is grow a hairline back. And it's like, just get rid.
He did have that one game against Diego Costa. That one game, bro. That one game.
One game.
No, but let's be fair. I don't like Holding, but he gives us one quality game a season. Once he gives it to you, stop playing him, because that's him done. Once he gives you that game, that's it. He's not got more in the tank. But Rob is guaranteed to give you that one quality game. I can't remember what game it was. Maybe was it the Fulham game or something where he played pretty well? I'm like, that's the best we're going to get of him. Drop him now. Drop him now.
Yeah, I remember, I think his best game that I can remember for Arsenal was in the FA Cup final against, was it Chelsea, when Mertesacker had to play as well? Can you remember that? When Mertesacker had to come in, he hadn't played all season.
And he played in the final.
All season, Mertesacker. And then he played or was it Man City? I can't remember.
That was the FA Cup final, Chelsea. Chelsea.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I think Rob Holding was at the back next to him as well.
Yeah. What a back two.
What a performance by the pair of them. But it's like, he was another one as well. He'd give you one good game throughout the entire season, just drop his ass.
But I swear Per retired after that game. He knew what time it was. Yeah. He did. He was like, this is me. Signed out properly.
That's it. I'm done. So,
but Brandon, I'm not gonna lie. As we're talking preseason today, I do have a bone to pick with you, because I was watching your show on the terrace after the Man United game, and look, even though I'm not convinced about this Havertz thing, I believe you're a little bit too harsh on the result of that game and how we came out of that game. And I think you were a little bit too harsh on the players in that game, personally, as it was preseason. Yeah.
Fuck them, man. Fuck them. No, come on. No. We want to see performances, and I'm not being funny. We dropped absolute stinker against that Manchester United. I don't think anybody...
we did though. But look at it this way, Brandon. Like, it's pre-season, bro. Yeah, come on. And I think Terry. I didn't realize this point as much as until Terry dropped it. I think earlier today, he's talked about how when we were growing up, us football fans, a little bit older ones, is that we never even saw the pre-season games. Like, let's be fair, we check it on teletext or the result. Yeah. Do you get what I'm saying? But obviously the propaganda behind it makes the clubs more money if they hype it up. But let's be real. If we're gonna lose games to Man United, I'd rather it be in pre-season than in the actual season. Yeah. So I'm okay with it.
I don't know. Pre-season's a weird one, right? Because I understand it's pre-season and you're just getting your fitness back and that. But I didn't like elements of that performance against Man United. I didn't like the fact that we not necessarily that we didn't look at the races, but we just didn't look prepared to fight in that game. Like, they showed so much better fight. And then when you've got a signing like Kai Havertz, who some people would argue is a great signing now, all of a sudden that he's an Arsenal player. And You know,
That's loads of
others
game.
like me and yourself will say, well, hang about, we've crucified this guy for the last like 2 to 3 years at Chelsea. Why are we going to sit here all of a sudden now that he's wearing an Arsenal shirt, say, oh, yeah, what a fantastic signing. And when you've got a player like that who's already underwhelmed in the Premier League, and you can't really understand too much as to why Arteta's brought him in the first place, and then he's dropping absolute stinkers and getting cooked by an 18-year-old in the midfield, you just think, like, what are we doing here? Like, we've got big expectations this season, massive expectations. And I know you shouldn't really put too much on preseason. And maybe went a little bit too far after the Man United
it was the
game,
time you did it. I'm sure if you did that same stream now, it'd be a little bit different.
Yeah, maybe. But even so, tomorrow is an important game. But I say important game. I want to see tomorrow against Monaco, which is obviously the game we're previewing now. We're in front of our home crowd. I expect the players to, be near or nearabouts to full fitness now. I want to see, I don't know about you, but I want to see Thomas Partey and Declan Rice start in the midfield, because that's the one thing that I've been waiting to see, how them two work together. And we haven't seen it yet. So what do you think?
I won't lie, I'm just as hungry as you, Brandon. I want to eat Partey rice tomorrow. That's what I want. Partey jollof rice in particular. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want. I want to see it because, and maybe later on in the game, I might want to see Partey rice with Havertz at the 10. I'm not saying it's going to work, but I want to see if he has a bit of protection, little chance to roam, can he get a chance to express himself? And maybe, just maybe, me and you might be able to see some of the things Arteta sees. But definitely, Partey Rice has to be the base of the midfield, and it has to be how the season starts. And I believe that will maybe give Havertz a bit of time to ease himself. I don't know. I don't know why I'm trying to help Havertz out. I don't know, bro. But yeah, Partey Rice definitely we need to see tomorrow, 100%.
You do it, bro. You're doing exactly what I did when we found out that we were signing Havertz. Oh, maybe this will be a good signing. Or maybe Arteta knows what he's doing. But actually, no, he's crap. He's been crap at Chelsea. And you're going around in circles all the time in your own head. And it's a weird one, really, because it's like you want to get behind it because he's
and you want to see what he's seeing, but
and you want to see what he's seeing, but at the same time you're thinking, oh my God, what are we doing? 65 million and all that. Jesus Christ.
Literally.
But yeah, no, definitely. I'd like to see Partey and Rice, see how that works. I think, I know Rice is pretty much, I don't know, do you think he's been brought in to play the 6 role, or do you think he will play more of that 8 role? And now that we've kept Thomas Partey will keep the 6.
I'm just happy that everyone's in the place where they're guessing right now, which is, I think, is a good thing for us as a team overall. But for me, I remember 2 years ago, I just started looking closer at Declan Rice's actual game, because I was like, what is this hype about? Like, why do they keep saying he's going to go into this and that? What is it? But then I started watching him in moments, because you see at West Ham, he kind of had to be the DM. Noble had retired. They didn't really have anyone as quality as him in that role. It might not have been his best position, but he's the best DM at West Ham. Let's get it twisted. Let's not get it twisted. He has to protect the back four. So I think his role is a lot more restricted at West Ham than it would be at Arsenal. And whenever I've seen him drive forward with the ball, Brandon, he doesn't lose the ball, but he just doesn't do that enough at a club like West Ham. So at a club like Arsenal, with Xhaka going, I was excited to see him using his strides, driving a lot more with the ball, taking control of the ball. And he now has players around him that he can rely on to maybe slot in the back or pass to in a difficult situation, and they can handle the pressure. So I see him more flourishing as an 8 personally. But I'm not against having him as the option as a 6 when Partey's injured or we need something different for the game.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that as well. I think he can definitely do that Xhaka role. You see Declan Rice sometimes go forward for West Ham, and when he does go forward, he can come up with goals, he can come up with assists. But I see him as like a similar type of player to Granit Xhaka, just at a better level. and he can actually defend, unlike Xhaka, getting red cards and yellow cards and
Yeah.
all that. So, yeah, I agree. I think our best midfield partnership this season will be Thomas Partey and Declan Rice. No, without a doubt. Without a doubt.
Facts.
It'll be interesting to see where Havertz comes into this. And the other thing that will be interesting as well, because we haven't seen much of Rice. Obviously, he's picked up an injury. We've seen a little bit more of Havertz. But to me, even though he got the goal the other day, it doesn't really look ready to play this system. And he doesn't look like he 100% understands where he needs to be on the pitch, how he needs to kind of be fluid within that midfield. It's going to be interesting to see whether Arteta recognises that and actually, leaves one or two of these players on the bench and says, look, I'm going to integrate you into the team a little bit slower to not have a detrimental effect on the team. Because I think if you start with Havertz, for example, and he doesn't hit the ground running, it can have a detrimental effect on our season, and therefore could end up having a detrimental effect on the manager and whether he keeps his job or not. So,
and that's why I think this preseason has been more kind of it's probably the first time because obviously last season was about consolidating our system in preseason. Whereas I think this approach, he knows, okay, this is my tried and tested system. I can always revert back to that. Let me try a few other shapes to see how he can slot. Someone can slot in here, someone can slot in there, because I'm not going to get a chance in the season to do it. Let me iron it out now. What I did notice from Havertz, with his goals, is that he clearly does that late run into the box quite good. And I'll be honest with you, I'm pretty scared to ever watch Havertz and Zinchenko start in the same game on that left side. That is frightening for me, bro. Frightening. Do you get what I'm saying? So the fact that we've got the good news where it's looking like Kieran is fighting for his place and he's staying, I'm really excited about that signing, to be honest, because it means that we can play maybe Timber and Zinchenko and White and Tierney, because obviously one can do the inverted on one side, one can do it on the other side. I can't really see Zinchenko and Timber starting as the fullbacks in the game ever, personally, with how we play. So I think it's really important keeping that Kieran Tierney signing. But for me, I even want Tierney to start tomorrow, because I think he's kind of been a little bit too disrespected. As much as I get Arteta's trying, but it's too much now. It's too much, bro.
I was going to ask you that. Like, for me, I feel Kieran Tierney's been very disrespected as well. Like the other day, he's playing Tomiyasu at left back. I'm thinking, why? You've got a left back on the bench. He's probably, arguably, like as a traditional left back, he's probably one of the best in the league. Maybe even
he's our best left back for me, but that's debate.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, he's gonna, like you say, Havertz and Zinchenko. Jesus Christ,
bro! Can you just imagine?
Oh,
they would have a field day on that left side, bro. Flipping heck.
Yeah,
mate.
Yeah, Havertz,
and then that will help activate Gabriel's bozo gene even more. So it's gonna be even more crazy, bro.
Yeah,
it's that left side.
It's going to be an interesting season. It's going to be. Do you think Arsenal have done enough to win the league this year in terms of like who we brought in the market?
Personally, I would like to, in an ideal world, obviously, which we don't live in. In an ideal world, I would have still brought Lavia in to work as an understudy to Partey, and which gives us the opportunity to potentially sell Partey end of the season and slot Lavia in immediately. That would have been my ideal thing as well, and someone that can play maybe definitely on the right side of the wing and maybe as a second striker. That's what I would like. But Brandon, with that being said, whether we get those players in or not, Arteta's happy. So that means we must challenge. I'm not one of those, we're 2 players short, and I'm not doing that anymore, bro. I could maybe say that last year or the year before, but now, he's been there. This is his 4th full season. No matter whatever you go into, my guy, you've got to challenge, or we're going to be looking at you with side eye. That's the reality. As much as I'm Arteta in, this is his time. He can't finish 3rd this year. He cannot. It's not possible. Sorry. So, and we're going to have serious questions of him at the end of the season. That doesn't mean I'm not fully committed to the Arteta in and the movement. I'm in, But how long am I going to stay in? Do you get me? Like, there has to be, if he, like, as much as I like a lot of the stuff he's doing, and we are progressing, this is to show us have we maintained this progression, or was it really what these opposition fans have been saying, and it was just a freak season, innit? Let's see it. Let's see what you're about.
Well, this is the perfect comment here from Gun Down. Accountability must be used if we fail. Period. And this is all I've ever wanted. Do you know what I mean? Like, I look at last season for an example, and although I think we did very well in the league, ultimately we won nothing, and we basically did exactly what we did the season before, which is we was in prime position to win the league, and we bottled it. Just as we was in prime position for top 4 and we bottled it. So I'm going to be very intrigued this season as to whether we can get over the line. And obviously there's various different reasons as to why we lost the league, and also, top 4 the season before. But, the Saliba thing was massive for us. No doubt about that. But I also think the manager was culpable as well, because, playing Rob Holding instead of Kivy, or not playing Kieran Tierney when we was getting exposed down the left-hand side by, like, Theo Walcott of all people. Do you know what I mean? And Anfield as well, yeah. It just didn't make much sense to me. So the manager's still got a lot to prove. But at the same time as well, I'm going to be very intrigued to see how the fan base react, because I think there's a lot of people that are saying very much the same thing as what you are right now, which is you have to win. And I'm going to be interested to see if we don't win. Of course, I'm hoping that we do, no doubt. But I'm going to be very interested to see how many of these fans actually turn around and start making excuses again. Then we're going to really see, how many of us actually trust the process or not. Do you know what I mean?
For sure. And Brandon, I'm not gonna lie to you. Does it mean if we finish 3rd, I'm immediately gonna be Arteta out? I'm not. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying he would have failed if we finished 3rd this season. But depending on the circumstance, do you know what? Fuck it. Nah, if he finishes 3rd, man, we're gonna have to have conversations, man. I was like, so I had to check myself, man. Yeah,
I was gonna say, you're gonna have to.
So when you just catch yourself, and yeah, I'm off it. Nah.
We cannot finish 3rd. No, we can't. No way. No way.
Can't.
No way.
Unless if we win the Champions League, I'll allow it though. 3rd place, bro. Don't lie to yourself. 5th place and the Champions League, you are doing knee slides all over your front room. Do not lie.
To be fair, if he wins the Champions League, no manager has ever won the Champions League at Arsenal. Not the Champions League.
Yeah.
The bloody whatever it was called, cup. You know what I mean.
Yeah.
But the Champions League, even Arsenal. So there is no way that if Arsenal win the Champions League, anyone's sacking Arteta, whether I would call on it or not.
Would you call on it?
No, I wouldn't, because
I was going to say
me, the big overarching point this season is he has to win a major honour. That's my thing.
Okay, so no major honour, then he has to go, even if he finished 2nd and pushed them all the way.
If we finish 2nd, but we don't win anything, then he has to go, because if you go down to all the seasons that he's had at Arsenal, the biggest disappointment, I think, has been that we haven't managed to maintain or compete in multiple competitions. So I want to see us competing in multiple competitions.
I hear it.
He has to win a trophy this season. If he finishes 2nd and, I don't know, 3 points behind Man City, but he wins the FA Cup and gets us to a semi-final of the Champions League, then I'll say, cool.
Bro, you can't add in that extra Champions League part. 2nd place and FA Cup.
Come on, bro. The guy would have spent nearly
No, but you can't ask to sack him. I'm not saying you have to be happy, but you can't ask to sack him. 2nd place, 3 points behind City, and the FA Cup, and maybe a quarterfinal of the Champions League. You're telling me you'll be saying we failed the season?
No, I just said I'll be cool with that.
Oh, okay, you'll be cool. Okay,
I'll be cool with that. Yeah. No,
but you said semi-final. Come on, you said semi-final though, bro. Quarterfinals. Allow us. It's our first time back. Come on.
Fuck quarterfinals, bro. He spent £700 million by the end of this window. Come on.
Brother,
Come on.
Chelsea spent 600M and people are telling me that they're challenging for top 6.
Yeah, but come on. Like,
what? It's the same. If we're using figures to debate this, they spent 600M in less than 2 years, and they're talking about challenging and getting top 6. If we're accepting that for Chelsea, we're deciding one of two things: either A, Chelsea is just a small club, or B, we need to be a little bit more lenient.
No leniency. No leniency.
So Chelsea's a small club. I can go with that.
They spent £600 million, but they haven't had a manager who's been 4 years in the job.
Bro, if we spent 600 million in 18 months, would you care about all them things? Let's be honest. Look, let's say Arsenal did the same thing as Chelsea did. They spent 600 million in the space of 18 months or even less. And we're talking about just qualifying for top 6. Then they're killing us, bro. They're killing us every week. And that just proves what my point. We're just a bigger club and Chelsea aren't. That's what it is. That's what it says to me. Because if they're allowed to spend 600 million and finish in the top 6, then they're not a big club, bro. Or we're just being too harsh on Arsenal. It has to be one of the two.
They're allowed to spend 600 million and finish 12th, bro. So, you know what I mean? Like, the same expectation is not there. But the point is, I think the reason why there's a leniency with Chelsea is because it wasn't that long ago they won a major honour. They've won the Champions League, in recent seasons. If you go back, I can't remember how many years it's been now. What, 6, 7 years since they won the Premier League? Something like that. Whereas as Arsenal, it's 20 years this season, and we've never won the Champions League. So the expectation's different, especially when Mikel Arteta has been PR'd to the high heavens as being this next big, coach, and being compared with the likes of Guardiola and Klopp and all these man. Like, when you've got a coach who's been PR'd like that, then you have to have expectations to win stuff because all the other ones are. So that, for me, he has to win this season. And if he doesn't, then he needs to sack his clerk. He does sack his ass, man. Because, again, like, people go, oh, you're crazy. Why would you want to sack him? Who are you going to bring in? Did people forget that Liverpool had Brendan Rodgers? Brendan Rodgers basically did exactly the same thing that Arteta did last season. He should have won the league. And then
he finished 6th the next year, bro.
He finished 6th the next year. So, but the point is he should have won the league with Liverpool, right? And he didn't. And he ended up finishing 2nd. And they ended up moving him on and bringing in Jurgen Klopp. So
okay, so and this is a question that I did want to run by you, because I agree. The eyes on Arteta has to be like wide open right now. He has, as you said, he has no excuses. But the reason why I was maybe creating some other scenarios is because come next summer, give me like 2 names of managers that you'd want to come in if he doesn't win the league. Like just right now, like I'm intrigued at the names because I don't know. Like when Wenger was around and we were doing Wenger out, there was like the Klopps, the this guy, the that. Everyone, all these guys were available, but now the market's a bit different. So who would you want to potentially come in if he was to get sacked?
To be honest,
that's my issue. Exactly, I mean, that's an issue.
To be honest with you, I hadn't really thought about it, but like,
but you see my point, though, right?
Are you telling me that there's not a better manager out there than Mikel Arteta?
No, but I'm not saying there isn't, but the fact that there's not a name on either of our heads right now that we can say is the problem. Maybe come next summer there might be some different options, but I'm quite intrigued if the comment section has any suggestions as well. I'm not saying that we can't replace Arteta, but with this hell to the freaking no, get that name off the screen immediately. Never, not at my club. I enjoy watching good football at my club. Yes, winning football and all that stuff. I just think Simeone will be a cancer for us personally. I'm not one of them league judges guys league gunner guys that likes a Simeone. I don't want to see that at my club personally. Give me someone else, please. I'll accept other names. This is what I'm saying, Brendan. I'm not saying there is no one. I just want to know who the guys are.
Let me ask you this, right?
Mm-hmm.
And before you jump down my throat when I say this name, all right, before you jump down my throat, let me ask you this. Eddie Howe, is he a better manager than Mikel Arteta? Bear in mind that it took Mikel Arteta 3 seasons to get Arsenal into the Champions League spot. It took Eddie Howe 1. And, yeah, they
And
haven't
200 million, bro. Come on.
They had 200 million, yes. But when you look at the signings that they made, there's not really a player there that really stands out and says, Jesus Christ, like this player has changed the whole dynamic of that team. We'd already spent, 250, 300 million pound? Do you know what I mean? And Newcastle went from 19th to 4th.
And I see what you're doing here, Brandon. It's so smart what you've done here. You've not actually said Eddie Howe is your choice. You've asked me if I think he's better. Do you want Eddie Howe to replace Arteta? I'm asking you. If he doesn't win the league this season, is he good enough to take on that big club pressure? I think this season we'll be able to see what Howe is really about. Champions League football.
I'd be intrigued to see how he gets on at Newcastle this season more than anything. Because I actually think that Newcastle will have a drop-off this season because they're not used to playing twice a week. They're going to be in the Champions League for the first time in God knows how many years. I don't think they've got a deep enough squad to be able to play 2 games a week. So I think you will see a little drop-off at Newcastle this season. But at the same time, I don't know, bro. Like, can Eddie Howe work with these big players? Who knows? It's a difficult question to answer because
it is.
Like, if you look at Graham Potter, for example, did exceptional things at Brighton, went to Chelsea, failed. So it's hard to tell. But I think with the only thing that I would say with Eddie Howe is he does have more experience than what a Graham Potter had at the top end level of football. So I would say, I don't know. I think his name would be in there if Arteta was to be sacked.
For sure. As you said, this season is going to be a massive definer, how he copes with multiple competitions, sign a few new big signings coming in, how that works. And because I do also believe the likes of Joe Linton and Almiron are going to go back to the average players that they've always been. I just think this is for them. It's one of those random seasons that players, I think personally, I could be wrong. Clip me up if you need to, but I think they're going to. I don't think Almiron ever hits those levels again. Joe Linton never hits those levels again. So who else comes in? I don't know. But in terms of Eddie Howe, it's with him. It could work. Don't get me wrong. It could work. But with the likes of Potter when he went to Chelsea and going as far back as Moyes when he went to United, there's certain managers that come in as a small fish into a big pond and believe it's just, oh my gosh, I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for having me. And that's what Moyes and Potter were doing. They were just happy to be at a big club. Whereas if Howe's able to come with the arrogance as they've picked me for a reason, this is my natural step up. I can now show them what I'm made of. There's some potential there. No one can deny he's played quality football with Bournemouth, quality stuff with Newcastle. So it's a shout. But if you ask me right now, I'm not picking Eddie Howe over Arteta. But this season is going to be very defining for both managers, I think.
So, right, let me get this straight. Yeah, let me get this straight. What for you is the minimum expectation for Mikel Arteta to keep his job at Arsenal this season?
Second place in a trophy.
Second place in a trophy. He
has to get part. He has to get through the group stages in the Champions League, 100%. Like that. We can't get knocked out before the group stage. We don't want to be in the Europa League.
We got to hope we don't get a group with Olympiacos, Villarreal, and Sporting Lisbon, bro, because we're definitely going out.
For me, like at first I was like, if he just gets second and doesn't win anything, still, to be honest, he's got to win something, man, literally. And if he'd done better in the cups this year, I might be a little bit different about that thought. But because we basically sacrificed all other competitions, I'm livid at that. Like everyone
win
else
the
saying
league.
bigger fish to fry or all that stuff. Nah, bro. I'm an Arsenal fan, and for me, I'm not like these fans that shit on other trophies. I want to win everything that I'm involved in because that's how you build your history of your club. And I think fans this day and age are belittling trophies too much. And it's frustrating, like, to be honest, because I remember growing up where there was parades for the Cup Winners' Cup and nobody said anything. Do you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like, oh, look at you parading the Cup Winners' Cup. But now, because of social media and stuff and the Gen Zs and all that stuff, they're like, oh, shit cup. That, like, look, we got guys like Deji calling cups Mickey Mouse's cup that he's not won in how many years? Like, do you know, the whole game has gone mad, bro. If I'm a player, I look back at my career and I see no trophies, or whether I see an FA Cup and a Carabao Cup. The fans might not understand what that means, but me as a player, I played professional football to win accolades, however big or small. I want to win. And as a fan, I want to enjoy my club winning stuff, whether it's Carabao, Champions League, Premier League, Cup. I want to win it all. And I'll celebrate all of them shamelessly. And judge me if you want.
Of course, after the Monaco game, the Emirates Cup game tomorrow, we've got to face Manchester City at Wembley for the Community Shield. What you say?
Yeah, we win that, man.
We win it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's our thing. Community Shield's our thing. I don't know why. We win them, man.
I'll say it right here, right now. I don't mind us not having a great game tomorrow, providing we come with that big mentality for the Community Shield. And it's not because I'm bothered about the Community Shield, because I couldn't give a shit, to be honest with you. It's a charity game.
Facts.
Like, to me. Do you know what I mean? It's not a trophy. Like, people like to tar Arteta with this brush of, oh, he won 2 trophies and include.
The Community Shield's a bit of a stretch. Like that one, that one's a little bit of a stretch. You get me? So I'm not really celebrating that one, but
exactly. But because we're facing Man City in the Community Shield, I want us to go there and lay down a statement and say, look, we're serious this year. You ain't going to get the same sort of like free passes as what we gave you last season. Because if you can't keep up with us this time, you ain't keeping it. You ain't winning no league. And, I want us to go there with a statement. Maybe give a few of their players a kick as well, especially Haaland. Like, give him a little nibble. And,
but interesting facts about that game, and comment section, correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe every season that City have lost the Community Shield, they've gone on to win the league. Correct me if I'm wrong, comment section. So that's a little bit of a mad one.
Give them the Community Shield. Just tell them, just have a little, like Arteta could have a little back meeting with Pep afterwards. We say, look, we'll give you the Community Shield. Just let me win the Premier League.
Yeah, man. You've won 6, bro. How many has he won now?
Stop being greedy.
Exactly, man.
Do you know what I mean? But he'll probably do that as well. Like Pep's a big fan of Arteta, isn't he? He's a very, very big advocate of Arteta.
I mean, how many more leagues does he want to win? Like, come on, Pep, stop taking a piss, bro. Like, yeah, I mean, come on, you got Bundesligas, La Ligas. Let him get a Premier League, man. Against you as well. It means so much to him, man. Allow it.
Yeah, that's it. And it'll mean a lot to us as well. So
facts. I'll be crying on the stream, bogey, running everything, bro. I'll be all over.
Exactly. I'll be getting called, oh, you're a negative fan. Oh, you don't deserve to celebrate this. And all this crybabies in the comment section and that. Do you know what I mean?
I won't lie. For me, and this might sound controversial, because you're objective with your negativeness. It's not like every time we win a game, you're trying to find the negative. Whereas the other guy, LG, we're going to call him for now, so it doesn't seem I'm trying to get clout. He gets angry when we win games. So fans like that don't deserve to celebrate if we win trophies, bro, for me. Because he'll bring up us spending loads of money with Arsene Wenger when we just beat Fulham 3-1. Like, what's that got? Anyway, let me not get into that debate. But yeah.
Let's not get into that, because I don't know. I agree sometimes with Lee. Do you know what I mean?
I would say every Arsenal fan has a right to support their club however they want. No one else gets to dictate how someone's supposed to support a team, for me personally. But the anything I have against Lee is that he gets more excited being proved right than us winning. and that's what frustrates me about him. He like celebrates. Oh, I told you we're gonna bottle it. Rather than he's like, why are you not upset like we are? Like we bottled it. Like, do you get? We're celebrating that you were right. Like it's weird to me. I get it. The standards I get. We should have top standards, and that's fine. But being more excited when we prove you right versus proving you wrong, it's the goal is Arsenal do well. I don't care who does it. Just Arsenal do well is my goal.
Yeah. Big up Lee. Big up Lee.
Yeah, big up Lee.
Right. I'm just trying to think. There was some
Monaco.
That's it. Monaco. That's it. Monaco. Like, we don't really care about Monaco as a football club.
Really?
Let's be honest. Like the only time we care about Monaco is with Monaco Grand Prix or something like that. That's
Real talk. And that's where Henry started.
I mean, Monaco have got some decent players though. I was having a look the other day. They got that Alexander Golovin.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I forgot about him. There was a big hype about him a few years ago, isn't it?
Massive hype about this guy. He was like, what? He was 20. I think he was like 21, 22. There was a huge hype. He's now 27.
Yeah. And I've not heard about him for like 4 years, bro.
He looks a bit like Kai Havertz now as well. It's like, oh dear.
Battle of the has-beens, yeah?
Yeah.
Or there never was.
Rejects and all that.
But do you know what? I will be ecstatic if Kai Havertz gets a couple goals, he gets his confidence up. And look, at the end of the day, he clearly looks like a confidence player massively. And maybe if he starts with a few goals and he starts positively, he can then push on to that Leverkusen form. But as you said earlier on in the show, the thing I'm looking to see the most is Rice and Partey combination, because I really see Rice, Partey, Odegaard being a scary midfield three for the rest of the league, man.
Yeah, no. We've got Daniel in here saying Brandon, Jez, Southern Gooner, and Lee Gunner are the real deluded fan. No, I can't get away with this, can I? I've always got to have some little dickhead in the comments calling me out every single time. Listen, bro, if you don't like it, don't watch. It's as simple as that, really, isn't it? But yeah, I mean, I don't really care about tomorrow's game. I'm more annoyed, right, that it's on a Wednesday night at 6 o'clock in the evening. Like, who scheduled this? Do you know what I mean?
Nah,
like, who did that?
That's crazy, man. Absolutely crazy.
Everybody's going to be at work, bro. Like, I had to travel last year to watch the Sevilla game. I'm glad I went as well because we absolutely ruined them. But like, people are going to be at work tomorrow. The stadium's probably more than likely going to be half full until people arrive. And the ticket prices for this as well. I was cringing, mate, at how much they was for a bloody.
You know how we do.
Game.
Do you know how we do, man? We have to make money every little way we can with all the merch we release, the preseason games, the £8 a game on our website or whatever, bro. When it comes to marketing and making money and PR, that's our thing. But Brandon, I got a question for you. Obviously, we're playing Monaco tomorrow, and as we talked about, it is a preseason game, the last one before the Community Shield. Other than the Partey thing, what do you expect from the team in that game?
What, in the Monaco game?
Yeah, the next one. Yeah.
I expect them to win it. I expect them to kind of put on a bit of a show for the fans, because that's what it's all about, really. And not only that, we can't have Tottenham winning a pre-season trophy and we don't win one as well. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, that's the only thing that they could. Like, can you imagine? We go into this season and they're like, "Yeah, we won a trophy already." It's like whatever.
And they're so shameless, they'd probably do that. Yeah.
What was it called? the Sailors' Cup or something?
Mate, I don't know. We'll just check their honours list and they'll be there with the others.
I don't know. Like,
have a pre-season.
Harry Kane will probably stay now because they won that Sailors' Cup. Do you know what I mean? But
Arsenal since 1987. This is a. The reason I like this question. The reason I like this question is because I've said this. What did I say? I said Emery was 2 decisions away from still being our manager right now. The first decision was starting Peter Cech in the Europa League final against his former club, Chelsea, which was ridiculous for me. People might not believe that, but for me, that was a ridiculous thing to do. And
who was our second choice goalkeeper that season?
Leno.
All right, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that was crazy for me, especially. And then surprise, surprise, he went to Chelsea at the end of the summer. Ooh, that was a surprise.
Agent
I'm not
check.
saying he rigged the game, but that I just think it was a stupid decision. The second one was not down to him. I do believe if we signed Zaha instead of Pepe, Emery might still be in a job right now, bro.
But this is the thing, right? This is the thing that I didn't get with Arsenal. They just let our most successful manager go, who's been here for over 20 odd years, right? In Arsene Wenger. They decide to bring in Emery, and then they don't back him with the players that he wants. Like, that don't make no sense to me. Like, if he wants Zaha, bring in Zaha. Why you got to go and spuff this £72 million on Pepe? And now look,
that nobody had heard of before that transfer window, basically.
Yeah. He wanted Thomas Partey as well, and he got Torreira. Well, we got Thomas Partey now, so why did you even like? It doesn't make no sense to me. It's like they didn't really trust in the guy, but he's doing bits at Aston Villa. He's doing bits, and some of the players that Aston Villa have signed as well this summer.
But I have a question for you, because even though I do believe Emery still potentially would have still been there if he'd signed Zaha rather than Pepe. My question is for you: is when you look back at like Emery overall, do you not think clubs like Villarreal, Sevilla, Villa are just like perfect for him? Where obviously it's not high expectations. If he gets into Europe, it's like, whoa, crazy. If he wins the cup, it's like, whoa, legend. But when he's gone to a high pressure job like a PSG or an Arsenal, he's not able to deliver at the times that they've needed to so far. So I'm not saying he's a bad coach, but I just think that helping the underdog overachieve is more his level than being at a big club with all the pressure and helping it go potentially. I don't know what you think.
I think he's a cup manager. That's what I think he is. I think he's a cup manager. And you've seen it because I think he's the most successful manager in terms of winning Europa League. He's won the most as a manager with the likes of Sevilla, bloody Villarreal, teams that you wouldn't necessarily expect to win that competition as well. So I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe like the long-term goal of winning the Premier League in I don't know, because he took Villarreal quite far in the Champions League as well. Didn't they like knock out the likes of Bayern Munich and that? I'm sure they did.
What year was that, bro? I don't know.
What year was it?
Look, I'm not saying he can't win a one-off game against the top side, but he won't get you to major trophies. Like, he'll probably win a Carabao Cup or potentially an FA Cup with Villa, but take them to that next level, I can't. I don't know, man. Personally, because he's not shown.
Champions League 2022.
He's the one that lost the 5-0 head start against Barcelona, bro. He's that same guy. Was it?
Yeah, no. It is. It was 2022.
Yeah.
I'll show you it. Hang on, let me share it. Let me share the screen.
What, the season before last, yeah?
Yeah, season before last. Right. So he did. Where are we? Fucking hell. So in the group stage, what's this?
Brandon, don't waste your time. He didn't win the Champions League, so all this is not relevant.
No, but he beat Barcelona. He beat Barcelona, right? With Villarreal. He also beat, who did he knock? He knocked out Juventus as well.
Yeah.
He knocked out
but you're proving our point. He's a cup manager, bro. He can do the knockout thing. But we want to win Champions Leagues and league titles, bro. He's not the guy that was going to take us there.
No.
He would have definitely.
And he knocked out Bayern Munich that year as well. And then he ended up just losing to Liverpool. So
I don't know.
Mate, he's a cup manager.
I'm just saying, okay.
He's a cup manager.
Him at PSG and him and Arsenal just didn't.
I think the better question to be asked would be, if Emery had received the same amount of backing as Arteta, would he have won us the Champions League by now? Because I know what you're saying about the whole, is he a top manager as in getting to the Premier League over a 38-game season? I don't think he can sustain that. I mean, when you see him when he was with Arsenal, we used to attack very well, but defensively we was so poor, like conceding loads of shots on goal, conceding goals like against Watford and stuff, like when we was dominating the game. But in terms of like a one-off, like two-legged game, for example, he's very good at that. If he'd have received the sort of backing that Arteta has done and given the same amount of time, do you think he would have got his Champions League quicker and maybe even won it?
I definitely don't think he would have won it. But with Zaha instead of Pepe, I think he would have got us into the Champions League that season, because we were on a high. Obviously, we weren't on a high. We were on like a back of a disappointing Europa League, and I just needed him to rally the troops. But maybe he threw his toys out the pram when he didn't get the Pepe thing, and that was maybe one thing. But also, Brandon, do you not remember, like, in the season where we finished? Was it fifth? He finished, or sixth? Fifth. Yeah. Like, I don't know what it. I didn't like the fact that every second half it was a different team. It was like we were shit in the first half, then second half he'll do a massive team talk, and they were like, "Yeah, we're flying again." Like, it happened so many times in like 1 year. I'm like, is it that he doesn't know what he's doing at the start of a game and he needs to tinker? It's like, why have we never stopped? Did we never start games well with Emery? Never.
Yeah,
that was what was kind of concerning me. So you're always tweaking something at half time, man. Come on, bro.
Yeah, you have a fair point there. But then saying that, if you look at last season, like towards the back end of the season, when we kind of, let's just say, failed, we had a manager who refused to make a substitution before the 75th minute. So
that was frustrating.
I don't know, bro. Like, it's...
No, I hear what you're trying to say, but I don't know, man. I just think the route that the ownership took with with Emery was quick fix. We're getting you in now to like plug in the holes and quickly get us back in the Champions League.
I think they was hoping he was going to win the Europa League.
Yeah, straight. And then it would have all made sense. We'd been Champions League. We probably would have had a bigger budget to spend that year. And I believe everything would have been different for Emery if we just won that Europa League. Personally, I think he would have got Zaha like he wanted, had a little bit extra money to spend. And yeah, I then believe potentially he's got the momentum to then push on. But because we lost, we lose. We got battered in 4-1 in a final, bro. 4-1 in a final, bro. That is, we're not against a Chelsea team that finished a few points ahead of us. It's like, Sarri was the manager. Like, come on, man. Like it was so many things working against him. Whereas for me, when we took on Arteta, and this is probably not what every fan did, but I stripped it back, Brandon. I'm not gonna lie. I just thought, you know what? These owners, they've picked this route. I'm an Arsenal fan, so I'm not going to get upset with Arteta. I was upset with the ownership for a bit for the first 2 years of Arteta rather than Arteta. I was just like, let him do his thing, because at the end of the day, who's going to say no to Arsenal, especially when you're a former captain? So, yeah, I was happy for him. He got a role, but I just analysed his performance based on who I was looking at. So when he won the FA Cup, I was like, okay, he deserves that next season's grace because he won a trophy. Then we finished 8th again. I was like, Coming into that summer, I was like, should we just make a change? But then I saw how confident he was with the likes of talking up Ramsdale, Ben White. Even when the press was getting onto him, he was just so confident about, this is who I want here. This is what, and I was like, do you know what? This is first keeper he's signed up for Arsenal. And he's picked Ramsdale. Even though I didn't watch him too tough, I'm like, he's got to be good with his feet, because why would you take that risk as your first keeper and sign someone that doesn't suit your play? So I was like, this guy's confident in whatever he's doing. So I was like, do you know what? I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. Get me top 6 this year, top 4 last season. That was my parameters for him. So he's following the progression I expected for him as a manager, because I don't judge him like a Klopp or a that, because at the end of the day, it's his first job. It's not his fault Arsenal was his first job. It's our ownership. So for what I expect of Arteta, This is the season he must deliver. This is my trajectory. This season, you must deliver me major silverware, my brother.
Too right and all. Too right and all.
Smash the likes for that.
I just hope you don't go changing your mind, my friend, because remember, you're on my channel now. I can clip all of this.
Nah, I'm with you, bro. I'm consistent, man. I'm consistent.
It's all good. Right, listen, people. Make sure you slap the likes on the way out. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you're new. Hit the notification bell as well so you never miss a video. Make sure you go over to One Touch TV, isn't it?
I've got 2 channels. One Touch TV is strictly Arsenal stuff, but I have Tunnel TV where we do Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, and Man United content. Only the clubs that matter, you know.
Yeah, that's it. So that's it. So yeah, make sure you go over and give a subscribe and a follow to my man here as well. And I will be back with some more content tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow we win the game. And look, big up yourselves, people. I'm out of here. We're out of here in a bit.